This is the Studio Series Reactivate Bumblebee, based on the yet-to-be-released video game Transformers Reactivate. Oh. We can't have anything nice. Talk about striking while the iron is still hot. My definition of taking advantage of the moment would be a picture of a dog eating peanut butter getting faxed over dial-up internet. For Christ's sake, I've only just gotten into Elden Ring. Really enjoying it, by the way. It's addictive like crack. Man, I love Elden Ring. And crack. This is an interesting take on Bumblebee's ult mode. It's as if they combined Rise of the Beasts off-road Camaro, his classic bug, and bits of his Cybertronian mode. It also has a lot of molded and painted detail, one of my favorites being the Autobot logo up front. With his Mad Max off-road tires and armored windshield, this big kick-ass sci-fi booster in his butt, all packed into this cute little size, it does a good job in meeting that perfect mix of looking badass and super adorable. This mix is without a doubt due to the setting of the game. We know that the game was going to take place in a post-apocalyptic Earth taken over by Legion.
Ooh, spooky and original.
Going back to all the junk in his ass, it looks great, as it should. There's a surprising amount of both molded and painted detail back here. Almost as if you were going to look at the back of this car a lot. Weird. I even love the little Autobot logo back here. That's not all the video game cheese this thing has though. If we look down here, we can see his little guns. And if we just grab them, if we slightly transform the figure and get the guns, we can attach them to the front of the car. Now normally I would think this looks cheesy and stupid. However, with the context that we have with this figure, I can very clearly see how it would have looked in the video game. So ironically, I kinda love the cheesy look. First, we have Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, War for Cybertron Trilogy Red Alert, Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime, and the 2006 Classics Mirage. Now for this next part, I'm gonna need something to get me through it. Now this step right here is the bane of my existence. First, it is leading to some pretty severe paint rubbing, but that's not even the worst of it. Going from robot mode to vehicle mode is hell. The cab just does not have enough clearance for the windshield. I mean, just listen to it. God damn. And that's just me doing my best not to break it. Man, I sure hope someone was fired for that blunder. After that nightmare of a transformation, we get this interesting robot mode. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say this does not scream Bumblebee to me, not at all. If anything, this is what I imagine Bumblebee looks like in his own head. If he was any color other than yellow, he could be anyone, which is ironic because normally they say the opposite.
What do you mean by that?
That all being said, it's still interesting. He's got that long legs, short arm anime look. He also has a huge rack. Between all that and his chiseled face, he looks like he should be stopping a gay British man from sucking off his adopted brother. I will admit, the best part about this figure is the small details. Carrying over from the alt mode, much of these details are still molded and some even painted, like the lights on his shoulders and chest. A weird thing that both the reactivated Bumblebee and Starscream have, they both have parts of their body that are painted black on one side and not the other. Not really sure if this is supposed to be a form of battle damage or some mechanic in the game. Weirder yet is that the next and presumably last two figures in the Reactivate line did not continue this painting scheme.
Fuck you.
For the most part, the paint feels pretty durable, and I'm not afraid of paint rubbing or chipping, with a few exceptions. I will also say, from the front, it's pretty kibble free except for the sides of the legs. Even that's not too bad, honestly. That being said, you look at him from any other angle than straight on, he looks, well, pretty shit. Between all the empty spaces and gaps, to the complete lack of detail, it just looks like a completely different figure.
Hey, baby, how'd you like to share a pair of skates? Sure! Yeah!
So it makes it difficult to put him in any half-decent pose. More on that later. Before that, however, I would like to take a look at his forearms. As the persnickety viewers amongst you may have noticed, his guns are stored back here. I don't know how I feel. I kinda like how they look. It almost makes him look more like a yellow Batman than a Bumblebee, however. But semantics. As for the guns themselves, I also feel a bit conflicted. On the one hand, I quite look how they look like little SMGs and they feel quite appropriate for Bumblebee. On the other hand, they don't feel very appropriate for this design. They feel more like the backup guns for his backup gun than his main shit. First, we have a ball joint at his head that allows him to look up this high and down this low. He can do a full 360 at his neck. He has a hinge at his shoulder, a ball joint at the elbow that allows him to get about a 90-degree bend, but he can also rotate at the elbow. Sadly, for the first time, we have nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist.
Fuck you.
He has a ball joint at the hip that allows him to get a perfect spread. He can also kick this high, kick this far back. He has a mid-thigh swivel, a bend at his knee. Then we get to his feet. He has a ball joint at his ankle that allows him to barely move his foot up and down, full 360, and an okay pivot. But due to the fact that his feet are so small and pathetic, and due to the fact that they lack any real up and down, makes him extremely difficult to do any pose other than extremely basic ones. Bumblebee, Red Alert, Optimus Prime, Mirage. Now, would I recommend him? Probably not, unfortunately. Like, he has a really interesting design, and he does have a few things that make him unique. Unfortunately, he didn't do anything that blew my socks off either, though. If you still did want him, though, you can get him for about $20 to $25. That being said, some people are trying to sell him for $40 to $50 because of the newest drama with the game, and I can't recommend that in good faith at all. Now time for Are You Shitting Me? 1004 Facts I'll Scare the Crap Out of You. Turn to page 91. A food preservative called butylate hydroxidonolene helps many of our food from going bad, but it is also widely used in embalming fluid and jet fuel.